Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Alan and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to improve your fingerpicking technique in 90 seconds. Be sure to check down in the description of the video. Down there I have a link to a tab that will give you a little exercise you can practice this fingerpicking technique with. And if you're like me, I used to be really bad at fingerpicking, but what really helped me a lot was I took classical guitar lessons for a few years, and that really helped my fingerpicking technique a lot. So what I'm going to do today is share some of those tips and tricks that I learned while studying classical guitar with you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. And before we start talking about the right-hand fingerpicking technique, let me show you what we're going to do with the left hand, just so we can go over those. So we're going to play 4 chords. We're going to play C, A minor, F, and G7. So I'll just walk you through those real quick, just in case you don't know. So a C chord, we'll put our first finger on the first fret of the B string, our second finger on the second fret of the D string, and then our third finger on the third fret of the A string. We'll strum from the A string down. Then A minor, we'll put our first finger on the first fret of the B, second finger on the second fret of the D, and then our third finger on the second fret of the G. We'll strum from the A string down. For our F chord, we're going to bar the first finger across the first 2 strings on the first fret, and then our second finger on the second fret of the G. We're going to put our ring finger up on the third fret of the A and our pinky on the third fret of the D string. So this is like an F over C chord. And then G7, we'll put our first finger on the first fret of the E string, second finger on the second fret of the A string, and our third finger on the third fret of the E string. And those are all the chords that you'll need for this exercise. I wanted to go ahead and move the camera just to give you guys a nice close-up of my right hand, what it's doing. So I promised you guys I would teach you this in 90 seconds, so let's go ahead and start that countdown clock. And here's what the exercise sounds like. So there's a few different things that I'm doing to help make this a little bit easier to play. The first one is, notice that my wrist is curved. So instead of my wrist being kind of really planted against the guitar, this makes it a lot harder to play loudly. So if this wrist is up here curved, I can play louder quite a bit easier. Then the other thing that I'm doing is I'm using my thumb for these 3 bass strings, the E, A, and D. So any notes on those I'll play with the thumb. And then in the right hand, my other fingers, I'm using my pointer finger on everything on the G. And then I'm using my middle finger for any note on the B string, then my ring finger for any note on the E string. I'm not using my pinky any. Some people like to plant the pinky here while they finger pick. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that, but I do prefer just keeping all the fingers kind of free floating and just letting the fingers that are touching the string kind of be what keeps you connected to the guitar. So yeah, and the last thing that I'm doing is I'm preparing my fingers against the string before I play. So like those first 2 notes, I'll let my fingers rest against the string. Then whenever I go to open G, I try to get my pointer finger against the string before I play. So each note I'm kind of touching the string before I play it. Let me play it slowly one more time for you. Alright, and our time's up, so let me just play through it one time kind of fast for you, and just show you that since I'm using more than 2 or 3 fingers to finger pick, it does make it a little bit easier to play it quickly. Here we go. And that's it. That's going to wrap it up for this fingerpicking tutorial. And of course, you guys can apply this technique to any songs that you're working on. And there may be certain songs where you have to alter this a little bit as far as which fingers you use for which string. But starting out with this technique is always a really good place to start. And let me know what other questions you guys have as far as other techniques on the guitar, or any other questions. Feel free to fire away down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. You can subscribe, hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss any future videos, all that good stuff. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, which is hopefully tomorrow.